So as always, greetings from Pennsylvania once again, but this time we're just barely inside Pennsylvania. The Maryland border is just over there a little bit. I think I was actually in Maryland just a moments ago. I drove past the road here. It wasn't marked. But the road is called the Mason-Dixon Road, so we are right next to Maryland, and in fact later today we will be in Maryland. Kind of doing our little road trip down in some parts of Maryland today. So, but we're making this first stop here at the southern extremity of Pennsylvania. And this is we're in Lancaster County here. I'll show you on the map in a moment where we are. And this is the Rock Springs Nature Preserve, and sometimes it's called the Rock Springs Serpentine Barons Nature Preserve. And I'll talk more about what Serpentine Barons means later. So it's gonna be a hot one today too. But I brought some extra shirts to change into. Beautiful. So I'm hoping to see some different things here today. This is a unique. The Serpentine Barons are a unique place here in southern Pennsylvania and Maryland, but we'll talk about that later, like I said. So anyway, let me show you the map, and then we'll get going. I got a lot to do today, so we'll see what happens here. So here's our Pennsylvania map, and of course we are over here in Lancaster County, but we're all the way at the southern tip right here of Lancaster County. This is Route 222, and that's kind of where we are, just at the bottom there. And then, like I said, later we'll be down in Maryland a little bit, down this way, and we'll come back home. And there's just a small parking area here. Here's the sign. There's the sign up there, Rock Springs Nature Preserve, and a trail cam. There's always a trail cam at these nature preserves. Once again, this is part of the Lancaster Conservancy, one of their nature preserves, and this is the Mason-Dixon Road. Right down there's the Maryland border. All right, I don't have a map for this place. There is a map online, but it did not designate any trails, so. But I did kind of see some trails on the satellite images, so we're just gonna go and explore a little bit. Maybe make our own trails, we'll see. All right, we'll say goodbye to Naomi for now, and then head this way. Looks like there's kind of a trail here. It's not a huge preserve, so chances of getting lost are minimal. We do have a junction here, split. All right, let's go. Let's go this way. As I mentioned earlier, this place is also known as the Serpentine Barons. And it's not the only place that goes by that name. There's a number of other locations here in Lancaster County and down Maryland that go by that name. It just refers to a certain type of region that's kind of rare and only found in parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, and I think down in Virginia. Serpentine is a type of rock. It doesn't refer to a snake. It's like this green, wavy looking colored rock. And barrens, because the soil in those areas tends to be pretty poor, pretty thin, and not a whole lot can grow there. So they're very unique habitats that are not often associated with your typical Pennsylvania habitat. So you tend to get some species of plants and animals that are only found in the Serpentine Barons. Guess there's more trails going off. Either way, I guess we'll go this way. Looks like someone does maintain the trails, even if they're not named. Well, I decided to backtrack a little bit. That trail kind of just got overgrown. And there are other areas down here that, like I said, have the same terrain. I filmed years ago at a place called Goat Hill, Serpentine Barons, and I've been over in Chester County of Nottingham County Park, which is another place. Definitely a lot of tracks here in the mud. Some look pretty fresh. Probably made this morning because these are deer. Not seen. Well, it looks like maybe some human footprints too. All right. No critters out here yet. Lots of tracks though. Lots of deer back here. Lots of cedar trees growing along the trail here. That's what these are. Eastern red cedar. And they're indicative of poor soil conditions. They often grow in places where other trees won't grow. And it doesn't have that typical look that, you know, where I hike in, you know, that the typical Pennsylvania woodlands. Has a much different look to it. You know, just recently I was out Trout Run and Steinman Run, those two nature preserves here in Lancaster County. This looks nothing like those. Yeah, these are all cedar trees along here. There's an aspen tree. Those also often grow in poor soils. I think it's a big tooth aspen. And along with these cedar trees, you have lots of these. These are Virginia pines. They just have the needles come in clusters of 2. If I could isolate just 2 of them for you. And here you can see how they just have a cluster of 2 needles. Other species in Pennsylvania have like 3 or 5 needles per cluster. But the Virginia pine is just 2. And they're also known as a pioneer species because they'll be like sometimes the first species to grow in a overgrown field or a burnt over area. Oh, spider webs. Well, that's, you know, they're the first person on the trail. They were busy last night. Yeah, once again, it just has a very different look. You get all these low, scruffy looking pines rather than the tall hardwood trees that you often see. Yeah, there's some, oh, scratch that. You hope you can hear the birds singing there. I think one of them is a cardinal. That one. Yeah, it's always fun to hike in new areas, especially when they have a more of a different or a unique kind of landscape than what you're usually familiar to walking in or hiking in. You might be hearing some of the noises. There's a salvage yard just up on the north side of this little preserve, so like a junkyard. Alright, well, let's keep going. I'm hoping this trail loops around eventually back to where we started. I think it does. I mean, if not, we can just go back the way we came. No critters yet. No snakes or lizards or anything. Seems like a good place for them. Alright, let's get going again. Let's look at the flowers here to share with you. I'm pretty sure these are chickweed. Try to get a little bit closer without blurring things a little bit here. There you go. Yeah, so while we're sharing flowers, there's some yellow ones up here. Here's some whitish colored ones. These are actually called bluettes. They just have the 4 petals. And yes, they're more white, although they have a pale, slightly pale bluish color to them there. Not sure if that's focusing there. But they can often be pure white. That can be confusing because they're called bluettes, but they're often white. But this up here is wood sorrel. And you can eat wood sorrel. They have these leaves, look like clover leaves. The leaves have a very like citrusy, sour, tangy flavor to them. We'll eat one here for you in a moment. You can make different, they have some medicinal value to them. Yeah, so here's a little bit of wood sorrel. Yeah, definitely have like a sour taste to them. It's actually not a bad sour taste. Almost kind of refreshing. Brings back memories. That always grew in the farm. I always like nibble on it as a kid. Of course, I guess in some ways I'm still a kid. Yeah, there's a lot of noise coming from back there. Alright, let's keep going. Now that we've been revigored with some wood sorrel leaves. I think some people put them in salads as leaves, because they can add like a nice little soury tang to a salad. And some more flowers. Here's some really pale blue ones. Looks like it's growing off of grass. I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen these before, but they only grow in areas like this. I think it might be what's called blue star grass. Yeah, that salvage order is the only thing that's kind of messing with the beauty of this place. It's a place where people drop off their junk cars and stuff, and I mean, it's a good kind of place. They recycle the metal and stuff, so it has its place. They make a lot of noise. Alright, so it feels like the trail I was on just kind of fizzled out. I might go looking for it again, but that's the other thing too. There's just not a very well defined trail system. I mean, at some points the trail was kind of mowed and easy to follow, but then other times it just kind of, like in here, like where is it? So kind of looking for another trail, or I don't know what I'm gonna do here yet. I'd like to explore some more in here. Alright, well, I'll get back to you. Alright, I think I may have found the trail I came in on. We'll see. But it is taking me back the way I want to go. That's the only problem. That's one of the problems with going off trail. Sometimes you gotta, this place, like if you get off trail, see how thick it is off trail? Yeah. Sometimes trying to re-find the trail that you came in on can be a bit difficult. Alright, so like I said, I think I'm headed back the right way. But yeah, definitely an interesting place, but it needs much more defined and maintained a trail system. And that's not really a complaint. I mean, that's the way it is. That does take a lot of work, mostly volunteer work, to do that. But it would greatly enhance this area as a outdoor destination in the area if the trail system was a little bit better. Alright, I didn't see, but I did hear, was most definitely a deer bounding off through the brush. And there's no way I'd see it in there with all that, how thick it is, but somebody just took off through there. I'll guess it's a deer. Yeah. There's no way of telling. Alright. So at this point I am 90% sure that I'm on the right trail back. One of the main ways I can tell is that I'm not running into any spider webs, which means I hit them all on the way up here. Oh yeah, because here's that split off too. I went down that way first. Alright, so Naomi should be right down here, a little ways. Alright, so we did come down the right way. You can see Naomi up there, but I'm just going to quick walk up this way a bit just to see if there's a trail up here. If there is, not sure how far. There's a trail going this way. You know, I think I'm just going to go this way just a little bit here, since we're here. My guess is the trail was on would have eventually looped back to this one. That's what I was hoping when I started, but things got a little hairy the farther away you get from the parking area. Yeah, so the one bird I'm hearing out here is definitely a field sparrow. Of course, he's not singing now. And when we hiked that one section of the Appalachian Trail near Palmerton, where the mountaintop was all like brushy and stuff, fields. That was him right there. Almost positive that's the field sparrow. Yeah, because I remember hearing him on that trail. That's when I first kind of identified that song. Yep. There it goes again. Of course, the main trail goes this way, but it looks like someone has been busy. And there's a trail right here. It's definitely been recently made. Not sure by who. It's an official trail. But I don't know, let's check it out a little bit here. Ouch, spider webs. Alright, I'm not going to stay on this one too long though. Kind of just fizzles out here. May have been made by a hunter too. Yeah, beautiful sections, all the little flowers along the trail here. The bluettes. I mean, sections like this are pretty well maintained. Looks like another junction here. Looks like you could go that way. This looks pretty overgrown. Or back this way. Let's go this way. This kind of looks like it goes back towards where we parked. Unless it gets overgrown. Yeah, I think I might go back to the main trail. Well, let's just keep going over here. Alright, so I'm back on the main trail, headed back to the parking area. Yeah, that one was getting a little bit overgrown too. Which isn't always bad when the overgrowth is like thorns and stuff. It's just not my thing. So yeah, I mean there's two trails that come out of that parking lot, which are like this one here, which are pretty well defined and easy to walk on. But neither one really, I guess it'd be nice if they made like a complete loop, which I'm guessing maybe they do or did at one point. A lot of potential here at this place, but the trails definitely need a lot of work and names and a map so people know where they're going. Maybe even some little information boards telling people what unique things to look for here. Because like I said, this is a unique type of habitat. But like I said, that takes a lot of work and usually money too. All right, making our way back now. All right, well that'll be it then for Rock Springs. You can see Naomi is still back there waiting for me. And that'll be it for Pennsylvania too. We're gonna head back on the road here and in a short order cross the Mason-Dixon line into Maryland for the rest of the day. Hopefully get to a number of places. Not going deep into Maryland, but hoping to get to a couple of places that have been on my list for a little while now. All right, like I said, interesting place. You know, if you're looking for a place with, you know, a great trail system, I might hold off on that. I did read an article that they're working on maybe getting some more better trails here, but we'll see. All right, but still a cool place, unique environment. All right, and another nature preserve here that I can check off my list. It's part of the Lancaster Conservancy. All right, quit yapping, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around, hopefully, in Maryland.